Good evening and welcome to round 7 of the Invictus F1 Performance League. We are at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix tonight. This historic and iconic circuit consisting of 15 turns and lasts 2.6 miles. Certainly a challenging track for drivers all over the grid, as well as unpredictable weather. But a quick introduction to my colleague tonight, Malcolm. Good evening, Malk. How are you this evening?
Hello Craig. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well and I'm looking forward to tonight's race. We were unfortunate we didn't get the break last week, but certainly made up for it for explosive racing as always last week. So looking for more of the same tonight.
Same. It's Brazil. It's one of those iconic tracks, isn't it, Craig? Where the beautiful CNRS. Is that right? It's beautiful CNRS.
The
Yeah.
Senna S's, yeah, turns 1, 2 and 3, certainly challenging for all drivers. But the big question tonight, Malk, is what weather are we going to have?
I expect rain tonight because we had dry yesterday and no assists. So I bet you. We're not real money, but I reckon it's going to rain tonight. How about you, Craig?
I would really like changeable conditions during the race. A dry qualifying session, or even better, a wet qualifying session to throw everything up into the mix, and then possibly changeable conditions in the race. That would be the perfect formula for a race for me this evening, purely because I'm not racing in it. So that makes it even better. But yeah, changeable conditions would be fantastic for tonight's race for myself.
Yes, same here, Craig. Same here. Here we go. Come on, please. Knowing our luck, it's going to be dry, isn't it?
I'll take a dry qualifying. And it looks a
Oh,
bit overcast at the moment, Mark. So we could see rain later on in this session as we wait from information from the pit lane. And it'll be interesting to see who goes early. So if rain is certainly predicted, then we may see the track very busy early on in the race.
yeah, it's going to be quite intense moments, Craig, because it just you just don't know what to expect in this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like last week, I know we should have had the break, but because of PSN issues in the very first week of Invictus, um, we got to see some classic racing. And do you expect to see some more classic racing tonight, or do you think there'll be a few
Well, it
shots
seems
along
it
the way?
seems to be the norm for the Performance League that we have explosive racing every week, and why should tonight be any different? So definitely expecting the same.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Saab, we've got McLupy, Core going out first. Mr. Stim, 96, goes out as well. Uh, so, I mean, Stim's just come back into the Performance League tonight, Craig, and he's in the Sauber tonight. What do you think of his chances um, of the race tonight?
It's
Depending on the
certainly
weather, obviously.
it's definitely going to be a challenging night for him tonight in the Sauber. So it's not easy for him on his return to the Performance League. But we do know he's a very quick driver, and I
Yeah,
expect him to be in the points tonight.
yeah, I reckon eighth, ninth,
I
around
think
those numbers.
it's certainly possible. It might struggle with the understeer of the Sauber, and he'll definitely struggle with the power loss compared to other cars. So it'll be interesting to see what Stim can actually do with the Sauber tonight.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see how it goes on his proper lapping. He's just trying to build his proper lap to give enough room for do his lapping. But tonight, Craig, um, who do you think will be your standout driver?
Oh, that's certainly a challenging one. We do. or we have seen Nick Thompson grow and develop every race. He's in the Renault tonight, so could possibly be in with a good chance tonight. Delange in the Toro Rosso, he's done well in the Sauber previously, so I think Delange could be in a good shout for a top 5. But Spud actually moves up to Ferrari tonight, so probably the strongest chance that Spud's got of a podium finish. And he's actually on track at the moment on the soft tyre, so the only car at the moment on the soft compound. But let's not rule out Betrayer in the Haas tonight. He's certainly notorious for starting at the back of the grid and scoring podium positions or very strong points. So definitely Betrayer in with a shout.
Yeah, definitely. We just saw McLuck going to a fastest lap of 1:10.9.
Yeah, puts it on provisional pole in the Force India. But Nick Thompson in the Renault up he jumps and takes provisional pole. But Sargent, mighty Sargent in the Renault. So I think Sargent's certainly in with a strong opportunity to secure a win.
Oh my God, I am so sorry, Craig, but that is a wicked lap from Sargent at the minute in the Renault car as well.
And it must be a good win for you to be applauding with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining qualifying. So getting very excited early on, Mark. Watch the Spuddy boy! Spud on the softs. Have at you. Have that. Just to interrupt there, Mark, a quick update from the pit lane. The weather will be overcast for quali and the race, so possibly low temperatures, which could play into the hands of Sir Spud opting for the soft tyre.
Yeah. Spud needs to do not go quick here, Spud. He needs to slow down to try and save his tyres. Nick is going to third with 1:10.8. I tell you what, Craig. 7/10 from the top 12. 7/10 just out of that. It's just unbelievable.
And it certainly looks as if those allocations have been spot on at the moment. So could be a very exciting race. And a quick good evening for all those who have decided to join us tonight for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It looks as if it's shaping up to be a fantastic race, and I certainly hope that you enjoy it.
Oh, what a lap!
And Spud goes even quicker, almost breaking into the 1 minute 9s on the soft tyre. So Spud setting down an early precedence for the Brazilian Grand Prix. He's going to have to watch to not burn out those soft tyres going into the race. I think you might see Spud come back out on the supers, because those softs will be a little bit old and possibly too old. It's MJ Coupe jumps up and takes second on a 1:10.3 in the Mercedes. So Spud still in a strong position on the super softs. Softs. And I believe if he goes to the super softs, apologies already, I do believe that if he goes on the super softs, he's going to be breaking at the 1 minute 9s.
Yeah. I was going to say, Craig, I think soft medium is the best way, unless he can go and do well on the softs and then go into the super softs at the end, which is very risky in Brazil.
Well, I believe we saw a very interesting strategy from Speed Queen last night in the No Assist League, where I believe she went super softs medium, and it resulted in her taking last night's race win, the 4th of the season. So it's going to be a tricky decision for the strategists and the drivers, as Mike looks to have run out of fuel coming through turn 3. But let's not rule out Notorious. We know that he gave a spectacular performance in the Red Bull the last time he was in the Red Bull at the USA Grand Prix, making some spectacular overtakes. So could we see the same coming from Notorious at the Brazilian Grand Prix in that Red Bull, as Sargent comes back out on track in the Renault, opting to stay on the super softs? So Sargent possibly thinks provisional pole or second as possible.
Possibly. I'm just watching Lance Stroll now to do his actual lapping. He's got a beautiful couple of corners in the centre S's. He's got to get that big boost off the corners here. Oh, he's got that perfect DRS straight. I think it's 17 seconds. Yeah, he's got 17 seconds. He hasn't got 21 seconds to go on the song, but he has got 17 seconds to try and get this in. But last night in the no assist, I don't know how I got them few fastest laps last night, Craig. It was just absolutely unbelievable. But it was
I think with the Ferrari and certainly with track evolution, as the track got hotter and it was rubbering in, it was a certainty that you were in a strong chance with the fastest lap. And we'll certainly see what Lance Stroll can do as he rounds turn 13, goes up the hill, turn 14, flat out of course, just approaching the kink that is turn 15 DRS open.
No.
And he's actually decided not to. Oh, and it was almost contact between himself and Mike as he went into the pit lane. Looks as if Mike had actually ran out of fuel and was trying to take it back into the pits, but that caught Lance Stroll unawares. Mig Lugpay just coming round turn 4, I believe it is, so at the end of sector 1 in the Force India, currently down in third. Spud currently sitting in the pits at the moment. It looks as if the telemetry is showing that he's got the super softs fitted, so could Spud do the Vettel or me and go right at the end?
Sarge, no!
Oh, Sarge second! So Sargent in the Renault puts it on second.
What a lap.
Will he have enough fuel? Will he have enough fuel, Mark, to possibly do another hot lap? Oh,
if he does,
he's still got his set.
Sorry, Craig, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but this is going to be intense. Will Meg Lumpy?
Oh, Rossi moves up to fourth, Malk, in the McLaren.
Oh, what a lap! What a lap!
We just don't know what to watch.
No!
Nicky on the Williams, currently was in third, he's dropped down to seventh. His competitors have put in times. He's currently in a 1:10.8. Can he improve in the Williams car as he approaches the turn 13, goes up the hill to turn 14? Certainly hoping that the Williams power can move him up the grid. Currently in 7th. No. Does he improve?
No, he
doesn't. He stays in 7th. So with 1 minute remaining, provisional pole hold up, Sir Spud is on an out lap.
Just go watch Nick now. Oh my God, Craig. Sab's retired. He's in the pits. Just Nick. Let's see how it goes. We just don't know what to say. We need to clip that on Twitch because of our expressions of what's happened so far.
Well, Sir Spud has actually just started his hot lap. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him as he just exits turn 3, DRS open, onto turn 4. He has to hope that he doesn't get caught up in the dirt. Here comes through turn 4, runs slightly wide, and then into turn 5, runs up the hill onto turn 6, 7 and 8. He's wide of the apex slightly. He's going to have to hug it.
Oh, Nick's just slowing down on his. Not slowing down. Sorry, he's lost a bit of time on the first sector. He's coming up to up the hill in turns 4. I don't know what I'm saying. Meg Lumpy is retired from the pits.
Retires on the pits. Just a quick one. Sir Spud actually backed out of that lap, and that was the last opportunity. MJ Coupe just approaches the start finish line. Can he take pole from Sir Spud? And he does! He takes pole. A 1:10.1. Spud will be ruining that missed opportunity. Made a mistake in sector 2. Backed out of it and left the door open to MJ Coupe.
Nick! Oh, he's moved up tight! Spud has retired. Notorious! Oh my God! Oh my God, he's moved up to second after he got last.
So Notorious again, fantastic in the Red Bull. He's certainly Notorious. Oh,
Oh
fantastic
no,
qualifying from Notorious, who was at the back of the grid right up until the
Nicky,
last second.
Nicky, 1-8, 1-9.
Nicky currently ninth, can improve, goes
Oh,
up to 8th. So it looks as if we've got a running order at the moment. So disaster for Spud, who held on to provisional pole for the majority of the qualifying. One mistake in the second run, and that dropped him down to third. He is on the clean side of the track, and he will have the best entry into turn 1. But huge mistake from Sir Spud. So the qualifying results are MJ Cooper in the Mercedes takes pole tonight, with Notorious taking second. Sir Spud takes third. Sargent in the Renault in fourth. Rossi in the McLaren fifth. McLugby takes sixth. Mike, after last night's struggle in practice in the Williams, will take 7th. Nicky takes 8th. Betrayer 9th. Nick Thompson takes 10th. Cod Tactics in the Toro Rosso 11th, followed by Delange, also in the Toro Rosso, in 12th. Saab takes 13th. Stim 14th. Oh, what an exciting qualifying there, Malk.
oh, I'm speechless. I'm speechless, to be honest.
One driver that didn't set a time was Lance Stroll in McLaren, so he'll start 15th on the grid, and he'll have a free tyre choice, so we could possibly see Lance Stroll taking the one-stop strategy.
Do you think he'll go for that, or do you reckon he'll go for the 2-stop?
I think he's got to take the one-stop strategy. He's going to have to be very careful not to damage the front wing going into turn 1, followed by 2 and 3. He could actually allow the pack to move off the line and open up a bit of a gap, just to allow him to safely go through turn 1, 2 and 3, and then start to make moves up the grid. It's a 36 lap race, so a very long race, and there's 2 DRS on, so certainly overtaking opportunities can present themselves. I think you will see Lance Stroll do the one-stop strategy.
Fair enough. I would agree with that, to be fair. It would probably go soft, medium, or medium soft.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Malk. I think that's MJ Coop's back-to-back pole positions. I think he
Yes, it is.
I think he actually took pole in Australia, and I believe he won last round as well. So MJ Coop possibly looking for back-to-back race victories. I don't think he'll be in the Mercedes in Bahrain.
No, I think he'll probably go a little bit, drop down the pecking order and stuff in the cars, but we'll see how it goes. But I think everyone's ready to kick off now. But
Yep, it looks as if the drivers have selected their strategies for tonight's Grand Prix, and we'll certainly join them on track for the formation lap, and it will give us an opportunity to see what tyres each driver has opted for. The top 10 obviously locked into the tyres that they qualified on, which I believe everybody qualified on the super softs, so it'll be interesting to see what tyre strategies from 11th down.
just gonna check now. Oh, Core, Delange, and Mr. Stim have all gone for the super softs.
Well, I'll tell you what's an interesting development as well, Mark, because Sir Spud did not set a time on the super soft tyres. He actually starts on the tyres that he set the quickest lap, which was the softs. So, although disappointing in qualifying from Sir Spud with that mistake, it's actually worked in his favour starting on the soft tyres at the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. So out of a mistake, he gets an advantage. But just watching Lance Stroll, and he has went for the soft tyre as well, so it's still an option whether to go for the one-stop or the two-stop strategy.
I think, as we said earlier, I think the one-stop for the guys at the bottom half need to do. But it'd be very difficult for like Core, Delange and Mr. Sim if they want to do the one-stop with super soft and possibly soft at the end. But Don't
And
get me wrong, I think.
it's also interesting you see Mr. Stim starting on the super soft. So he's looking to get moves done very early in the race, or has he chosen the super soft to compensate for the slow pace in the Sauber?
Yeah.
Stim is disqualified from the formation lap. We're not really sure what happened there. We didn't catch it, but it looks as if it was coming out the end of sector 2 into sector 3. So did they make contact with another driver there? We just don't know as we wait for Lance Stroll to come round at the back of the grid to complete the grid at the Brazilian Grand Prix, as we wait for all cars to form up in their grid slots and waiting for green flags at the back with the race director looking to get us underway, Malk.
Here we go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's go! Go!
Yeah, it looks as if there was a bit of a delay, but that's a good start from MJ Coupe. Notorious moves up, and actually Notorious moves up to first. Great start from the Red Bull driver. Sir Spud looks to come round outside, moves up to second, so great stuff from Sir Spud, but it looks as if they get bogged down at the exit of turn 2. That allows Rossi to move up into third.
Oh! I don't know who that was. I think it was Delange or Sab.
It looks as if all drivers got through cleanly at turn 3 and 4. Notorious gets us along the way. Nicky's actually dropped down. He's currently fighting the Renault of Nick Thompson. He's down in 10th at the moment.
Oh my God.
Meg Lugby looks to be coming under pressure from the Toro Rosso of Co Tactics and Betrayer slightly ahead. And there's I think Nicky getting a bit of difficulty there, and he was swamped out by Nick Thompson. Nick Thompson moves up to 10th.
He's lost a bit of his front wing again, Nicky.
And after after that bog down at turn 3, Sir Spud's actually dropped down from 2nd to 5th.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Notorious runs wide in the entry into turn 1. He goes on the grass, and that's allowed MJ Coupe to close right in behind the Red Bull. MJ Coupe goes to the inside line. Notorious stays wide, and MJ Coupe has the inside line on the run down to turn 4 and moves up to first place. But drivers are going wheel to wheel through turn 4. Notorious runs wide, neither car giving way.
Oh my God! Go Meg Lugby! They've been side by side for the last few corners.
Meg Lugby runs wide onto the grass, and he's actually lost it, and he's took Nick Thompson off with him. So an incident between Nick Thompson, the Renault, and Meg Lugby in the Force India, and Nick Thompson receives a 5-second penalty.
I'm not sure which one to go for now, but I don't think that was Nick's fault for that, because he couldn't go anywhere.
I just watched it. Meg Lugby looked to lose the rear end of the car and came across track, and it looked as if he collected Nick Thompson. But Sargent going side by side with Rossi in the run down to turn 1. Rossi in the McLaren has the inside line. Sargent just tucks in behind him as we come through turn 2 and 3 on the run down to turn 4.
Oh my God! No!
It is millimetres between the Renault and the McLaren as Sargent moves up to 3rd on the exit of turn 4. But Rossi looks to be coming under pressure from Sir Spud in the Ferrari in 5th.
Yeah, it is on that one, Craig. I really need to watch the Delange and Stim fight in a bit, but
I'm just riding on board there with Rossi at the moment. It looked as if Notorious is really struggling at the start of the race. He's run wide a few times. Rossi lights up the rear tyres and actually goes off. So Rossi spun it, and that allows Sir Spud to move up to 4th. So disaster for Rossi as he's dropping down the order, and he's currently in 12th.
Sarge?
But Sargent's making a move on Notorious. He gets him moved on the inside. They're still wheelie wheel as they come through turn 3. A little bit of wheel banging there, but Notorious maintains second.
No, Spud Sarge. Oh no!
Oh, Spud's all over the rear wheels of Sargent as we come through turn 4 and the run up to turn 6 and 7.
Oh my god, this is intense. We might have another battle here, Delange and Stim. Oh, coming up the hill. Stim's holding on for dear life with that Sauber car.
Yeah, he's trying to make that Sauber as wide as possible, but he will know that Delange won't risk a move here yet because he'll have DRS in a few corners time. So Stim defending with everything he's got at the moment.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Saab and Lance Stroll down in 10th and 11th fighting for that last point position at the moment. As MJ Coupe sets the fastest lap and a 1:13.3. Delange tucks in behind Stim, moves on to the right hand side, goes around the outside. Approaching turn 1, drivers are wheel to wheel. We come through the apex, but Stim has control of the inside line and Delange just tucks in behind as we come through the Senna S's. It's turn 2 and 3.
Spud! Oh, so much Notorious! What a move! Oh my god! We might have 3 car battle here, Craig!
Oh, Notorious trying to go up the inside of Sir Spud, but Spud's having none of it, and that's allowed Sargent to see a little gap. But Core Tactics wants in this party as well, so it is a 4-way battle. Notorious goes defensive on the inside line. Sargent having a little look on the inside as we come through turn 11 down the hill to turn 12.
Oh my god, Craig. This is unbelievable.
We could see a 5-way battle between Sir Spud, Notorious, Sargent, Core Tactics and Betrayer in the Haas, looking to get even closer. Sargent trying to get the run on Notorious as we approach turn 1. Notorious too far ahead at the moment. Slight lock up from Sargent. Core Tactics looking to close down the Renault of Sargent. Well, that's
Stim. Oh, side by side. Oh, what a move. Oh, what a move from Delange. That is magnificent. Yeah, that was magnificent.
But Saab's looking to put pressure on Stim as well. I wouldn't want to get caught up in the battle between Delange and Stim at the moment. Will Saab risk a move? He definitely has the pace in the Force India with a Mercedes power. And he's certainly being held up here at the moment between Delange and Stim. And he'll be coming under pressure from Lance Stroll and McLaren slightly behind, who's also on the soft tyre. Oh, Sargent! Sargent's lit up the rear tyres in the run up to turn 14. So he's actually half spun it where Rossi went off early on in the race. And that moves Mike and Betrayer up to 5th and 6th respectively.
Lance Stroll closing in on Saab now. Sargent must pit. Yeah, he's got to pit. What would you say about the tyre situation? That's too early for Super Soft.
I think lap 9 is the ideal point to cross over to the Super Softs or the soft. Pitting this early, drivers might opt for the mediums like Meg Lugby has, but those tyres are going to be screaming at the end. It looks as if Sargent has opted for the soft, so I would say that pit stops 2 laps earlier than what's ideal.
Okay.
So Stim's starting to get crowded behind with the Force India of Saab and the McLaren of Lance Stroll. So Stim doing well to hold on to 8th in the Sauber, but I think it's inevitable that he's going to lose out to the power that's in that Force India as we approach the final DRS zone.
Yeah, we're just watching Lance Stroll try and close in on Saab. Oh, Stim's gone into the pits.
Core Tactics receives a 3-second time penalty from race control, and while the battling is going on in the midfield, MJ Coop is opening up the gap to Spud, which is now 4.1 seconds. But as well, Betrayers actually went very unnoticed up to 5th. So Betrayer taking advantage of other drivers' mistakes at the moment. And he's in a decent position at the moment. He's in 5th, 9/10ths behind Core Tactics. So a possible move up to 4th place on the start-finish straight.
That'll be good. He's done a good job so far, Craig, to be fair.
He's certainly been quick to return to form, and I was actually speaking to Jim through the week, and he's looking to rejoin the Equal Leagues possibly next season, so it'd be good to see Jim back into the Equal Performance Leagues.
Yeah, it'd be very good to see, battling out against like good old Spud and all that. Just see if Lance Stroll closes.
Yeah, Lance Stroll's closed down Saab the gap 0.2 of a second. Will he make a move on the inside of turn 1? He's thought better of it. He's too far back to make an effective move. So Lance Stroll just biding his time at the moment. He's got a great run out of turn 3. He will have DRS on the run down to turn 4. So this is a drag race. Into turn 4, Lance Stroll has control of the corner on the inside, and he does move up to 8th. So great driving from Lance Stroll, great exit coming out of turn 3.
That was epic. Just watching Betrayer closing in on Core Tactics now.
Yeah, Betrayer's closed them down. He's took 2 more tenths out of Core Tactics. Another great drive though from Core Tactics in the Toro Rosso.
There was a bit of a pause there. We do apologise. We just need a bit of a breather after that epic first 10 laps of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's absolutely intense moments here. We've got Rossi closing in on Saab now, but see if that McLaren car is just struggling with the straight line speed. But oh my god, I think that we might have a little bit of a lag going on.
No, looks as if Rossi's actually went off turn 1, so I think, yeah, it looks as if Rossi had actually went off and hit the barrier in turn 1, but I don't see any damage on his car.
No, there was a bit of lag on my screen.
There's an incident between Rossi and the Force India, and that was Saab. Not really sure what happened. They're just trying to catch it on the replay. It looks as if it was coming through turn 4.
I didn't see that, Craig, so I can't really comment on that.
Yeah, it looks as if Rossi had cut the grass at turn 4, came back on track into the path of Saab, and made contact with the Force India.
It's a bit weird there, but Core Tactics has pitted.
As well as MJ Coop. So MJ Coop moving on to the soft tyre. That allows for Spud to move up to 7th. Currently 7 seconds ahead of second place Betrayer. So this is the time now that Spud has to utilise clean air and the soft tyre. He's going to have to open up that gap to MJ Coop while MJ Coop is in traffic. MJ Coop on the exit of the pit lane makes contact with the barrier. He'll be hoping that he didn't receive any front wing damage.
There was a little bit of a wheel banging there between Delange and Mike on, I think it was turn 4, sorry.
Yeah, I think that was at turn 4.
But I don't know if Mike's tyres are screaming now as well as Delange. But Delange is doing really well to hold on to them tyres. We've got MJ Coop in the soft tyre closing in on Lance Stroll, who's also on the soft tyre. So we might have a 3-way battle going on. So,
just an update from Rossi. While he was in the pits, he said that he was affected by major lag for 2 incidents. Certainly we advise all drivers that they do not watch the stream while racing, so that we can try and protect the integrity of the lobby.
Yeah. Oh my God, MJ Coupe.
Yeah, MJ Coupe's all over the back of Lance Stroll as we come out at turn 3 onto approaching turn 4. Yeah, he's going to use DRS and he'll certainly have the power of the Mercedes car, and yeah, that's a standard DRS overtake before turn 4. So MJ Coupe moves back. Yeah, it's the standard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, certainly the DRS made it easier for him. Oh, Stim moves up to 9th. Takes 9th from Mike, who looks to be on the one-stop strategy, currently on the medium tyre. But Mike's certainly not going to give up too easily on this Williams car. He's looking to come back and attack the Sauber driver. But they're going to have to keep an eye on their wing mirror, as Sargent is currently in 11th on the soft tyre.
Yeah.
Looking to move back up the grid.
He desperately needs to move back up, and MJ Coupe's got the fastest lap of 1:12.7.
So certainly maximising the power at his disposal, should I say, in the Mercedes car. Disposable, yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, Craig, you are a legend on that one.
Notorious looking to put pressure on core tactics as we exit turn 3. Notorious has DRS on the inside.
Oh my God! Sarge might close in. Sarge gonna close in. Oh, Sarge. Mike's gonna be the bus stop on the parking the bus on here.
Yeah, Sargent weaves right, he weaves left, no way by that Williams, he just can't get the move done. But as we were watching that, Mark Notorious moves up to 4th after overtaking.
What a move!
Oh, Sargent! Mike left the door open and Sargent just walked through and went, "Thank you very much, Ali will be having some of that."
Now why couldn't I do that yesterday? I retire.
Yeah, just as we're watching that battle with Sargent, Notorious got the overtake done in the DRS zone between turns 3 and 4. So Notorious takes 4th from Core Tactics.
So still watching Sargent closing in on Mr. Stim. Should have. Oh, knocks his brakes up a little bit there.
Yeah, a little lock up in the left front. It's all about who gets the better exit of turn 3. Certainly he'll get closer with DRS, but I don't think Sargent will be close enough to make a move onto turn 4. Stim just closes the door. He knew that Sargent wanted a little look on the inside, so Stim just closed the door on him. And while this is going, Mike is beginning to drop off. The gap now 1.4 seconds between himself and Sargent. It could be that Mike's just backing off, allowing his engine to cool and the tyre temperature to come down and just manage the degradation on the tyres.
Yeah. MJ Coupe's done another fastest lap of 1:12.5, I think.
Yeah, he's certainly...
I'll take that back.
He was certainly pumping those laps in, but then Notorious jumped up and says, "No, you're not."
Sargent's closing in on Mr. Stim again. Should have DRS. He needs to get a better exit here.
Yeah, I think Stim's getting a better run out of turn 15 on the final start-finish straight, and even with DRS. Sargent in the Renault is really struggling to get close enough to make a move into turn 1, but he's closed right on the gearbox on turn 4 and 5. But we're approaching the tricky sector too. It's certainly tricky for overtaking as we come through turn 7 and 8. And on the run down to 9, can Sargent get any closer and possibly make a dive into turn 11? He can't. He seems to close Stim down, and then Stim just begins to open up the gap again. So Sargent really stuck behind Stim at this point in the race. We're in lap 16 of 36 of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Sargent currently struggling to find a way past Stim at the moment. He's got a great run in Stim at the moment, tucks in behind on the toe, goes to the outside, DRS open. Oh, Stim just covers him off, Stim gets the elbows out, just runs Sargent a little bit wide. It's certainly fair and aggressive fighting. Sargent will have a second bite at the cherry here. DRS open again. Stim goes defensive on the inside line. Sargent goes to round outside. Can he get the cut back on the inside? Stim has him covered off through turn 4 and 5. So great battling between Mr. Stim and Sargent. Certainly a racing masterclass between the Sauber and the Renault driver. Certainly hard but fair racing.
Yeah, definitely here.
Oh, Sargent lit up his rear tyres there as he was just going up the hill, and certainly that won't help his tyre degradation. He's certainly pitted early on those softs, which are now approaching 10 laps old.
Yeah. So Spud has pitted for medium tyres, Craig. So he's definitely doing the one-stop.
Yeah,
now.
That's a standard one-stop strategy there, Malk. I think the Torres will certainly need to pit again. Lance Stroll, I think, is yet to pit. And I believe MJ Coupe will certainly need to pit again after starting on the super softs.
Oh my gosh. Sarge.
Yeah, Stim goes defensive on the inside line. Can he hold off Sargent? Sargent locks up on the entry into turn 4. Stim just holds the line. He's certainly making that Sauber very wide and difficult to pass as we make the run up into turn 7. And the tight turn 8, there's a slight bang between Sargent and Stim as Sargent missed his braking point, goes into the back of the Sauber. He'll be hoping that he didn't receive any front wing damage, so possibly a bit of impatience from Renault driver Sargent at this point in the race. He's possibly been behind Stim for a few laps now, and certainly that frustration may be growing in the cockpit. He just has to remain patient, possibly forcing Stim into a mistake or getting a very good run into a hard braking point.
Oh, Notorious is closely on, Lance.
Yeah, Notorious, sorry to interrupt your mouth, but Notorious certainly on the move. So certainly impressive drive. Oh, Sargent and Stim wheel to wheel through turn 1, 2, and Stim gets ahead on the exit of turn 3.
I didn't see that, Craig. Oh my god.
Oh, millimetres between both cars.
Just watching Spud closely on Lance Stroll.
Oh, Sargent runs into the back of Stim again. I think that's at turn 8. And this time Sargent receives front wing damage at the left hand side, so certainly going to be struggling with understeer. But Sargent...
Sorry Craig, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
So I'm just thinking Sargent could go for an earlier pit stop again, looking to change the front wing, because he's going to come under pressure from Mike on the medium tyre behind if he's really struggling. And certainly Stim is opening up the gap. You were mentioning Spud there earlier on, Mark. What was happening?
Yes. Just sorry, while you was watching that, Craig, on the DRS stray, just went past Lance Stroll with ease on the DRS, and he just had another DRS stray, and he's just took it with ease, and he's moved up to 3rd place.
So Ferrari power and DRS certainly coming into play for Sir Spud here. He certainly senses that race win that has eluded him all season. So Sir Spud in with a strong chance of the Brazilian Grand Prix victory. He just has to keep it clean and get this Ferrari to the end of the race. He's currently half a second down on Notorious, and Notorious is 12.5 seconds behind MJ Coupe, who is yet to pit again. Yellow flag sector 2 and 3 briefly.
Spud Spud?
Yeah, Spud moves
No.
to the inside, turn one, the Torres slightly ahead. So, Spud goes for the cutback. And it looks
What
as
a
if he's got
move!
the better exit out of turn 3. I think he will have DRS as well.
What a
So
move!
Sir Spud certainly mighty coming through the centre S's, but Core Tactics all over the back of Lance Stroll. So Core Tactics makes a move on the inside of turn 4. Lance Stroll goes wide slightly onto the curb. Core Tactics moves on the inside of turn 4. And I think I'm going to have to take tomorrow off work because my throat is killing me.
Oh my god.
So Sargent has decided to stay out. He's dropping off from Stim. The gap's 2.1 seconds. So Sargent trying his best to drive with that front wing damage, feeling that it's too early to pit at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's about 10, 11 laps for Super Softs. So he needs to hold on for another 4 or 5 laps if he wants to try and get back to the Super Softs.
The big question mark is, what is MJ Coupe going to do? He could see that Spud is behind him on the medium tyres, so he's possibly deduced that Spud's going to the end. He's got a 13.6 second gap. Does he stay out and go in the super softs at the end, hoping to catch Sir Spud, or does he opt for the softs early on, giving himself the best chance to retake Spud at the end? But Notorious is beginning to close down Sir Spud, the gap 0.2 of a second, as we start the run up to turn 7 and 8. So Notorious still quick at this point in the race. Slight mistake there, coming through the apex at turn 8. Loses rear end traction in the run up to turn 10.
Mike's closely on Sarge.
Yeah, Sargent is certainly struggling with front downforce with the loss of the end plate on the left hand side of the front wing. So the question will be, how long does Sargent stay out with a damaged front wing, because this is compromising his race strategy. Betrayers start to close down as Lance Stroll Lance Stroll comes into the pits, so that'll be his one and only pit stop. That's Betrayer moving up to 5th, currently 1.6 seconds behind Core Tactics in 4th. I think there's been a mistake as well from the Tories, as the gap is opened up to 1.8 seconds.
Sargent pits, Craig.
And does Stim. So Stim and Sargent, and we could see round 2 between the Sauber and the Renault driver. I think the gap will open up between them both, because I don't think Stim has front wing damage, but Sargent does, and that'll lose Sargent approximately 8 seconds of time.
Yeah, it's not going to be very good for him at the minute.
Both drivers opting for the super soft tyres, so feeling at this stage of the race, the soft tyre, believing that the super soft won't get them to the end of the race. Sir Spud has actually closed down MJ Coupe, the gap now 12.7 seconds as Lance Stroll closes down Mike ahead. So that was a very interesting strategy from Lance Stroll, going from soft onto super soft. Oh, what's happened there? Oh, contact between Williams and McLaren. I think Lance Stroll caught himself out there with how slow the Williams was on the medium car. I'm just looking at the replay. Yeah, Mike ran wide actually in the exit of turn 14, and Lance Stroll just went into him as Mike was starting to come across track. So that's resulted in Lance Stroll receiving front wing damage and another pit stop.
An unused pit stop.
Unnecessary.
Yes, the one. I'm not with it.
I'll help you out, mate.
Thank you very much. Unnecessary pit stop. There we go. There it is.
Possible mistake there from Sir Spud, as the gap's opened up now to 13.3, so a loss of 1 second. MJ Coupe still staying out on track on the soft tyre, so certainly going a few more laps, and he'll cross over to the super soft tyre. So he'll believe that he can catch Spud with the super soft tyre at the end of the race.
See how it goes, but the only one that's closest at the minute is Betrayer, closing in on Core Tactics. But what do you think of the race so far, Craig?
I'm actually glad that the gaps have increased and it gives myself time to recover my voice. It's been it has been explosive as always, and it certainly hasn't disappointed. And I'm sure there's still a few twists and turns to come yet, as some of the drivers have yet to come in for their final pit stop. Drivers such as MJ Coop, and it'll be interesting to see where he is in relation to Sir Spud at the end of the race, as Sargent receives a 3-second time penalty from race control for corner cutting.
Yeah, Lance Stroll is the closest at the minute with 1 second behind Saab.
Yeah, he's down 14th now because of that unnecessary pit stop, or that unscheduled pit stop after contact with the Williams of Mike after turn 14. So Lance Stroll will certainly be feeling that's an opportunity missed as well.
I think we're glad that the gaps, Craig, our throats are gone. Well, yours as well, is gone, to be honest.
And I don't know how we're going to get through tomorrow. If tomorrow's race is as exciting as this one. So Lance Stroll beginning to close down Saab for 13th, the gap, 4/10 of a second. Certainly I think it's only a matter of time before Lance Stroll gets the move done. He is on the quicker tyre, and he does have DRS on the run down to turn 1. He thinks better of the move into turn 1. He'll be struggling with dirty air as we come through the Senna S's, and he'll certainly get DRS again on the run down to turn 4. He tucks in behind the Force India. Can he get close enough for a move into turn 4? He does, and he tries to get it done under braking. Oh, but the power of the Force India just carries Saab along the outside. So Saab's still able to keep the power down round the outside of turn 4. And Saab maintains 13th place. There's a change of positions between the Taurus and Delange and Betrayer, as Delange comes in for his final pit stop, as does Betrayer. Delange will go for the super softs. Betrayer goes on the super softs, and Notorious could come under pressure at the end of the race.
Yeah, it could be, but will Lance Stroll get past Saab? He's got the run in. Yeah,
well, he goes round the outside. He wants the inside for turn 2. So he wants to control the apex, but Saab just continues past. Yeah, I think Lance Stroll turned in a bit too early, and that certainly compromised his exit speed. That allows Saab to open up the gap slightly and run down to turn 4. MJ Coop does come into the pits eventually. So MJ Coop on the super soft tyre. Sir Spud just coming round turn 3 as MJ Coop just rounds the final few corners of the pit exit. So the gap is 8.1 seconds as MJ Coop comes back on track up to race speed. So the gap 8.8 seconds, 9 laps remaining. Can MJ Coop catch Sir Spud to take back-to-back race victories?
He's looking like it, but we've got Delange closing in on Mike.
And we've got a battle between Renault drivers Nick Thompson and Sargent. Sargent goes to the inside, approaching turn 1. Nick Thompson doesn't look to fight him too hard. Nick Thompson on the mediums compared to Sargent's soft tyre strategy.
Delange will need to get... Oh! What a move!
Yeah, Delange goes round the inside and gets a move done on the Williams of Mike. So Delange certainly taking advantage of the super soft tyre on lap 28 of 36. MJ Coups actually took 1.2 seconds out of Sir Spud at the moment, so MJ Coupe looking to chase down Sir Spud for that race victory.
Yeah, but we've got Betrayal closing in on Core Tactics at the minute. Oh, he's got a good run in. Oh, it looked like he had a good run in there. Thought he saw the gap. But Core Tactics has kept the car.
And it looks as if Core Tactics got a good exit out of turn 2 and 3 as well. Certainly better compared to Betrayer, and that allows them to hold on to that 4th place as you come round turn 4. So Core Tactics needed to get that gap opened up to try and neutralise the DRS. Nick Thompson certainly not giving up on 11th to Sargent. The gap 6/10 of a second. So can Nick Thompson retake 11th from Sargent?
I don't know yet, Craig, but MJQ's got the fastest lap. He's got a tough run in now. 7 laps.
Yeah, MJ Coupe's certainly pushing hard, wanting that 2nd race victory of the season, and hoping to put himself into contention for the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, definitely there. You can't beat a bit of F1, Craig, on this one. Oh my God, will Betrayer closing on Core? I don't know.
It certainly looks as if the Toro Rosso is more stable coming through the Senna S's compared to the Haas at the moment. But Betrayer looks to have the straight line speed, certainly, with the DRS. So the gap now 5.4 seconds between Sir Spud and MJ Coupe. So we could see a little battle at the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix for the race win. So Sir Spud's going to have to use all of his experience and defend like mad with the Ferrari, hoping to secure his first race victory of the season.
Here's a question, Craig, quickly. Do you think Spud will hold on, or do you think MJ Coupe will nick it?
I think it's going to be a very tough challenge for Sir Spud. He's on the medium tyres and he's also down on power in the Ferrari compared to the super soft tyres that are in the Mercedes. 6 laps is going to be quite a monumentous task for Sir Spud. I would like to see him do it and get his first race win of the season, but I think it's going to be a tough ask.
I'm not sure what happened to Lance Stroll, but he has lost his wheel.
Yeah, I don't know if he's actually touched the grass and had a major off there, but certainly a DNF on lap 30 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. The gap now 3.5 seconds between Sir Spud and MJ Coupe as the battle continues between Core Tactics and Betrayer as Saab receives a 3-second time penalty. And while we're talking about that, Mark Delange is catching Mr. Stim, the gap 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, it looks like Delange is really trying to build that confidence boost of trying to build his confidence with the I don't know what I'm saying after, but he's trying to build some points for his winning defence of
sorry to interrupt you there, Mark, but we could see a 3-way battle for 9th place between Mike, Rossi and Sargent.
Oh my God.
So 2 battles going on at the moment between Stim and Delange, and Mike, Rossi and Sargent, with possibly a third developing between MJ Coupe and Sir Spud for the race lead.
Mike's lost his... Oh my God, Rossi just went past. But Sargent may overtake Mike here. Mike's really lost the wheels here. Oh, he's letting them through. Oh God, Mike's... I think his tyres are screaming now.
Yeah, I think he actually came in really early for that switch over to the medium tyres. So possibly really struggling with degradation at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just watching. I'm still watching Delange and Mr. Stim closing. MJ Coupe has closed right down to 2.3 now. Well, sorry, 2.2 now. Of Spud. So we might watch that battle go now. Spud Sargent close overtook Rossi, but Rossi.
Yeah, and Delange is actually having a run on Stim on the run into turn 1. Stim goes inside, so he goes defensive, tries for the squeeze. Oh, and Delange trying to push or keep Delange wide, but Delange just allows himself to open up the corner of turn 1. Gets a great exit at turn 3. DRS open again. Stim goes defensive. Delange looking to go round the outside. Will he go for the cut back? Mr. Stim covers him off. So Delange struggling to find a way past Mr. Stim. Very similar to Sargent.
Oh my god. I didn't see that, sorry Craig. I was trying to watch the Sargent Rossi battle. There is a bit of a problem with the telemetry. On ours it's showing as medium, but Rossi's car shows us super softs, so we don't know if that's the correct one or what. I don't know, but that's what we're seeing at the minute. So MJ Coupe's closing right down off Spud with 1.5 seconds now.
Looks as if Delange has got a great run on Mr. Stim. Mr. Stim possibly going on the inside line again. Looking to cover off the entry into turn 1. He does, tries to squeeze. Delange comes, he switches it round a bit quicker, looking to get in behind Mr. Stim, getting the toe very early on the exit of turn 3. Oh, he's really close. He's actually in the gearbox. He has to go round outside. Stim constantly defending the inside line and just holding off Delange. So Delange is going to have to work out a way to push Stim wide and getting on the inside line. Oh, he could do it on the run up to turn 8, but he was late on the power that allows Mr. Stim to open up the gap. The gap ahead at first and second is now down to 9/10 of a second. So pressure for Sir Spud now.
Spud, we think, I don't know what to do here. He's got to hold on.
He's got 2 laps to do it. He's got 1 second gap. He just needs to try and hold him off at the DRS. Yeah, Delange is trying to tuck on the inside of Stim, but Stim was having none of it. Oh, a slight wheel bang as we come round turn 1 between Delange and Mr. Stim.
MJ Coupe lost a bit of exit there, which gives Spud a little bit of a breathing space.
Yeah, Sir Spud should still hold on to first as we exit turn 1, 2 and 3. He's too far ahead for MJ Coupe to utilise DRS. As we begin the penultimate lap, MJ Coupe runs a bit wide, possibly late on the brakes. He get to go on the power, but he's closing down. Sir Spud will have DRS on the run down into turn 4. So Sir Spud just has to hold him off for 1 more lap.
Oh, it looked like he hit the gravel there. But we want to see if Delange will try and get past Mr. Sim in a bit. But
yeah, Delange right on the gearbox of Mr. Stim as we approach turn 15. He goes wide. He's going to have to try and force Mr. Stim wide because Mr. Stim's controlling that corner all day long on the side line, and he gets the move done. So Delange with DRS gets the move done into turn 1.
What a move.
MJ Coupe 6/10 behind Sir Spud, approaching the final DRS sector. Sir Spud will be hoping that Ferrari can keep him ahead at turn 1 and possibly turn 4. So if Sir Spud can stay in first place at the end of DRS zone 2, he has this win, or he should have this win in the bag if he gets a good exit at turn 14th. So Sir Spud, look, he's going to come under pressure. MJ Coupe goes wide. Sir Spud is going to have to defend with everything that he's got. Sir Spud moves across, looks for the little squeeze as we come through turn 4. But we have the final start-finish straight run.
Oh my God.
So MJ Coupe could have a final chance, but he's on the fresher tyres. He'll certainly be able to turn that car in quicker and get on the power earlier.
Yeah.
So Sir Spud will be sweating in that Ferrari cockpit. We just don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know, but oh my God, come on! Notorious has got 3 years, just 3 second time penalty.
Oh, Sir Spud started to open up the gap to MJ Coupe. Has he got enough of a gap? It looks as if he has. It looks as if he has. Sir Spud could take the Brazilian Grand Prix race win if he doesn't have any race penalties. Sir Spud crosses the lane and takes the victory at Brazil. Sir Spud is your Brazilian Grand Prix race winner, with MJ Coupe finishing second as it Notorious comes up the hill for the final time, comes round turn 15. It looks as if he's going to take third, with COD Tactics finishing in fourth. So Notorious takes third. COD Tactics approaches the finish line. Can he take fourth? He does, but where is Betrayer? Betrayer takes podium. Betrayer takes the final podium place after penalties. So Notorious will take fourth, with COD Tactics taking fifth. Nicky takes sixth. Delange, after the battle with Stim, could take seventh. It takes seventh and Stim takes eighth. Great racing from both Delange and Stim. Sargent, after early disappointment with the front wing damage, takes ninth. Nick Thompson takes the final championship point. Rossi, I think, drops to 11th after penalties, and Saab will take 12th, while Mike takes 13th. What a fantastic race. Certainly, what a finish, with Betrayer taking the final podium position.
That was absolutely epic, wasn't it, Craig? Absolutely epic. And that was a fantastic drive. MJ Coupe thought he nearly got it at the last few corners.
Both Sir Spud and MJ Coupe both with 3 second penalties, so it was done on track. Betrayer didn't receive any penalties, takes the final podium position. Congratulations to Betrayer. Notorious takes 4th. COD Tactics takes 5th. Nicky 6th. Delange 7th. Stim in 8th. Sargent takes 9th. Nick Thompson takes 10th. Rossi 11th. Saab 12th. Mike 13th. McLugpay 14th. And Lance Stroll received terminal damage and retired from the race. Oh, Breeze, what a race that was. Fantastic.
That was a good laugh. That was a good race, to be fair. It's just a bit epic, wasn't it?
It was, and congratulations to Sir Spud. First race win of the season. It's been a long time coming, and luck's been against him for a little bit this season, but he certainly turned it into a victory tonight, and he's got to be delighted with that victory. Malk, your highlight of tonight's race?
As you said, Spud winning his first race of the season. It was a great win for him. After all the bad luck he's had, that was a great win from him. There was quite a few good battles, like Mr. Stim, Sarge. I can't think of anything. MJ Coupe was really unlucky tonight. I think if he were hold any longer, I think he would have got Spud on if he had another lap in. But it was just not enough for MJ Coupe to get his double back-to-back wins. So at the minute, it was a fantastic race, and poor you, Craig, you bit your throat killing that after all that excitement and stuff.
I'll certainly need to be rested for tomorrow night's F2 race. But what a race! Thanks to everybody who participated in tonight's race. and for providing a fantastic spectacle. We certainly hope that you all enjoyed it. For those that decided to join us for tonight's live race, certainly I enjoyed it. Enjoyed commentating on it. I don't think my voice did, but fantastic race, and I'm certainly sure that we'll have more of the same in Bahrain, which is round 8 of the Invictus Racing Championship. Your final thoughts for tonight, Mark, before we finish?
Did you want a drink of water, Craig?
I have a drink of water next to me. Yeah, I've been drinking water throughout the race. Certainly needed it, and I'm not complaining. I am certainly not complaining.
No,
It's been a great season so far in the Performance League, and I hope and I'm sure that we will be provided with the same type of racing that we've expected and become accustomed to for this league. So keep it up, guys. Great work, and we'll certainly look forward to Bahrain next week, as well as the Formula 2 race tomorrow evening.
Cheers, guys. See you later.